What is the culture of a company? The culture of the company is its way of being, its life, its vibrancy, its health. The best way to create vibrancy in your company culture is through the leadership. The higher you ascend in leadership, the more weight you carry. And that weight is the responsibility of the success of the organization. But in hard times, it's the responsibility of the survival of the organization. We want to give you the 3 areas of awareness and then how to act on them to make sure they are moving forward to be developed, to be turned into not only strengths, but superpowers. You have to be self-aware, you need to be people-aware, and you need to be language-aware. The self, I believe, is made up of 3 components. You have a physical component, a mental component, and an emotional component. All these things to be aware of. Again, you're going to have a hard time being aware. If you're going to have to get feedback to become self-aware, you're going to need external feedback for this. Self-aware, again, is both how you feel about yourself, but here's the real kicker. It's also how others feel about you. People aware means let's take the time to do self-awareness, but as we do self-awareness, let's do that as a team. Let's make sure that I'm understanding who you are and how you are wired, how you function physically, mentally, emotionally, so that we can actually be an all-star team instead of just a team of individuals trying to make our thing happen and coming up and fighting against the realities of our differences. What we want to do in people awareness is I want to think, how do people think? How do people feel? How do people act? How and why? What motivates them? What propels them? What are the emotional, mental, physical realities that are leading them to this? So why do I want this? I want to be able to lead them. I want to be able to lead people well, but I also want to get people in the right seats. Be self-aware, understanding both how you feel about yourself and how others feel about yourself, how your impact on them as an individual in your leadership. Become people aware, so you understand the various ways people are wired, so that you can actually have not just a team of leaders, but an all-star team that works together. The final one is become language aware. Language is about how we communicate. There's 3 things that we communicate. We communicate the good. The good is who we are, our values, why we exist, our vision, what we are doing, our mission, what's the tactical objectives, and then how we're doing it, right? What's the strategy? What's the process? What's the structure? You need to be able to communicate the good, but you also need to communicate the bad. The marketing, the PR people come out and, oh, you don't know, and we try to create this BS, sugar-coated, blah reality instead of just being honest. And here's why we want to be honest. Especially internally, when you're honest internally, people feel like they're brought close, like they're brought in. You got to be able to communicate the good, you got to communicate the bad, but now here comes push come to shove. You got to be able to communicate the ugly. This is confrontation. How do you do confrontation? How do you do conflict? How do you give critique? What happens when you encounter frustration? What happens when you encounter an offense? All these kind of ugly things that we have got to become language aware. We have to learn the art of speaking. We have to learn the art of communicating so that we communicate with grace, with intention. What are you doing today to become more self-aware? What are you doing to become more people-aware? How are you growing as a leadership team together, not just as individuals? Finally, how are you practicing healthy communication? Halting Winter, this is what we do. What I've just articulated to you, these 3 steps, the self-aware, people-aware, language-aware, this is what our company culture program is all about. So if you go to haltingwinter.com, halting, Halting, let's halt something, let's stop it, right? haltingwinter.com/culture, haltingwinter.com/culture, you will read about this is what we do. This is our core company culture program that we do over a year, where we walk your team through self-awareness, people awareness, and language awareness. And so if that is of interest to you, and again, not just the program, but just if you want to talk about that, you want some help understanding how to do this better, man, schedule a conversation with me. I love to talk to leaders, executives, HR people who usually are spearheading, in a tough position trying to spearhead this movement. If that's you, man, let's talk. If you want help with the application and the implementation, then let's talk about what tools and resources we can actually do to invest into your business. So if you have questions, man, I'd love to talk with you again. Seth Winterhalter, the president of Halting Winter. Let's go again to haltingwinter.com/culture, set up a time for a conversation, schedule that time, and let's chat. Looking forward to helping you experience health and thriving in both your leadership and your company culture.